Okay. Um, you know, these people, as you are being manipulated, and you just realize that, you know, your brain is obviously never going to be the same. Your ways of thinking will never be the same. And I'm just thankful that I had the chance to speak about the things they do to me. It takes a level of embarrassment and humiliations. But also understand why they do this, because they feel like gods. They're nothings, right? You see what they have to do. You understand the technology is so amazing. Today was a long day for me. And they was supposed to make me be fearful, but I was ready for whatever. And as I said, everything I have asked for has been done for me. And I'm saying pray wise. I hear these people using different tonality to try to sound a little bit mysticful. They want to sound like a mysticful thing and try to make me forget the reality of what they're doing. Like the reality that a grown man right now is speaking to me like this. Die. Hey, it won't be. They use this tonality. I've seen these people. I've seen their faces when they try to sound this way. And they try to find the time to do these things. Right? When when they think that you have doubts, you see who's talking to you like this. It's like, my friend, I see how vulnerable you are. Do you think I would want to trade places and speak like that? They abuse. And they try to find a time when they've shown a sense of genius. I'm like, wait, what? These people, genius is how they have to dumb themselves down. It takes a level of genius to be this, putting yourself in this level. And the way to block it out and then try to talk me how you want. Of course it will. There's this thing that just happened. They use work and what you do at work to try to make you accept these things they do to you. Now, understand, my brain at this point, first of all, that's the first sign that these people are just like on some, like another sense of spectrum. They push themselves to spectrumalism. Imagine if I was trying to make somebody accept these things and try to use the way he's working, knowing that I'm frying his brain every night, I'm making him as illogical as possible. He is literally dying, right? That's what they say. His brain is just, and then try to use his work capabilities as somebody who's a target individual who's being tortured and fried and have an ability to clearly rest, think, and try to use, oh yeah, I see, that's proof that. I'm like, the level of humiliation. But it doesn't even end there. Then the things they try to get you to gaslight, sometimes it's like, oh my gosh, I can't even believe I'm still making sense as much as my brain is being fried up, as hard as it is for me to function. It's one thing to just try to come up with something and like, okay, obvious things. But I sound even more logical. Of course, I'm never going to be the best, my best. My brain is slowly frying up. It's getting hard for me to function. I barely sleep. I'm barely able to eat. I'm barely able to function. So as I understand, this makes me less and less able to function. That's what happens. I understand the reality. I mean, I've been stressed in different ways, but mentally, psychologically disturbed 24/7. It's hard for me to function. So with that being said, you as a target individual, you know that you can never be at the best that you were. So not to say you were perfect in the past, but now more than ever, you will be less functional. That's how life goes, because you're a target individual and because they are doing these things to your body. You understand this thing clearly. But to hear a grown man try to use these moments like, oh, you see, approve. I was like, and try to gaslight you at this moment. You're like, these people are just the saddest human beings. And then she's like telling me how I'm going to be raped and tortured. I'm like, man, I'm sorry, but this is not going to do anything to you. And it's not going to make your life any better. You're just trash. It's so pathetic. I wish you waste more time doing this and watching me. It's so bad. And then, on top of all of that, in the state that you're in, not being able to be functional, you still manage to somehow gather as much energy and logic to put things together and to understand. But at the same time, you have limited energy. They drain you, they fry you. There was this thing that just happened. And all along I was hearing them saying something about bouncing, and so I was like, what's going on, bouncing? I'm not going to be bouncing around, and they're going to throw me around. And I think about the violent things they talk about, right? It's like, whatever's going to happen, I'm ready. As long as I don't subscribe, I'm okay. But then I realized they were talking about something at work. There was this thing happening, right, at work. And I was like, the explanation they're bringing up, it just does not make sense. If this thing is happening and what you tell me just doesn't make sense. If you look at what we did and the result of what we did, makes more sense than what you tell me. Maybe I'm wrong, but give me something that makes more sense. I understand my brain is just not so. If give me something, and like this person keep telling me something that just didn't make sense. Okay, why is it not impacting this way? Because when we look at this, it makes more sense that this impacted this, but maybe there's something else. But let that something else make sense. They keep saying things like, no, okay, maybe it's something else. Let's look at maybe a trend, an annual trend. Maybe that makes sense, because what you're saying does not impact what you're telling me, like what's saying here. And I'm saying like, they keep coming, it's like, no, this something is just not making sense here. And then I see, okay, something happened to this place. That'll make more sense now. Of course, I didn't know this thing happened. And so they're like, oh, but initially you thought that this other thing was the reason. Yes, because it was more logical than the things they were telling me. Because it looked like nothing else changed. But this thing changed, and then that's it. Because these people think that, I understand, work, you're supposed to kind of figure things out. It's work. You're supposed to like think, okay, this is okay. If that doesn't mean, like, try to, like, that is what you do at work. You're supposed to put together, to get together and kind of figure out what happens as a team. Now, I was like, okay, let's just bounce ideas together and figure out what's happening here. If that's not, like, what you're saying does not make sense. Okay, you're saying this is happening. Why is this happening this way? Because what I'm seeing hasn't changed anything. And so I'm like, okay, like, I'm open to listening to it, because I know my state of mind. My brain is just fried up. I know I'm not like, right now it's just, so tell me. But what you're saying, it just makes no sense. If this makes more sense than that, what you tell me doesn't make sense. And then I see, okay, that makes more sense. Okay, now we can talk. But do you know what they try to do? They try to gaslight me, saying, but initially, you thought this was the reason based on what you saw. I was like, yes, because this made more sense than what they were saying. But actually, I'm glad that it was something else. But I was like, you thought so bad. So, as obvious as the other thing was, it means that these pedophilia things that we do to you, even though it's obvious that we do this pedophilia type of torture systematically, that we just as matching you. To all my target individuals, that is the logic that I'm forced to have. And all along, it seems like they were orchestrating this thing to make me accept the pedophilia things they do, because it's obvious that they do the pedophilia type of torture. I'm not the first, and I won't be the last one to say. And just like it's obvious, there was obvious impact that was done to this thing at work. It was just a coincidence because something else happened there that caused this. So just like you, even though there's obvious testimonials of people all around the world saying exactly what you're saying exactly what's happening to you all around the world, even before you. Matter of fact, out of 1,000, majority have said that. With you, it's just a coincidence. With you, we matched it to you as a child. Target individual. These people have tried to make this logic this way, and they use this intellect to be like, you see, we proved it. Yes, we do the pedophilia type of torture. You heard that. You heard that almost all of these people experience these things. You heard this woman literally describing the same thing, saying something about, they do this thing, try to change me, putting thoughts of pedophilia. And she doesn't know if the neighbors or people around her do this, but this is what's happening to her. She said that even before you even knew that. She said that even before these things happened to you in 2014. But you, it's you, we matched it to you. That is just a coincidence. There's a grown man here right now using a tonality to sound severe or mean or mystic. Say, black girl, you see, that's you. We match it to you as a child. It's not the pedophilia type of torture. We're just matching, making you see things the way you would see things at a certain time in your life, especially in your childhood. That is truly a logic that I'm being forced to experience. And these people who you see as very intellectual, mature, put together, will try to get you to think that this makes sense. A grown man, a self-respecting man, is literally trying to make me accept this. And try to start speaking, it's not fair. You can't do this. Tell them attack individuals. They will break you down using the most illogical things. For me, they've been using work, anything they can, to say, you see, you first thought it was that. It's like, yes, because I'm looking at the different things that happen, like as somebody who's rational, and based on what happened, this looks like it's more of an impact. Oh, but something behind the scene happened that you didn't know. So that happened, okay? Then this makes sense. Now they revert back to you. You see? You thought what we're doing to you is the pedophilia things that we do to everybody else. I mean, majority. That you heard people say exactly. But all along, you are being matched to what you were doing, to how you were thinking when you were a child. This is this low-life bottom feeders. Ways of trying to break you down. I understand. These people have the ability to have logic of a damn near spectrum irrational human being. Can you imagine? You at work. You are trying to be a productive man or woman. These people orchestrate things to try to get you to be doubtful. But even the orchestration is nonsensical. Because you understand, as somebody who analyzes things or who tries to, in a real world and natural and organically, you would see, oh, this is happening. Is this the impact? Your explanation does not make sense. Something else must be happening. Is that a trend? Is that let's figure it out. Matter of fact, I was super happy when I figured out, that's it, perfect. And they're like, no, but you see, it's like, no, this is how you do your research, and then you find out the results. And they're like, yeah, what about? It's like, oh my gosh, for me, it didn't. Oh my gosh, it for what they do to me, it's like right here, it's just in your face. It took me 2 seconds. It took me 2 seconds. Oh my! The second I start googling target individual, it takes even in my most spectrum like state of mind, it's the almost ease to see the pattern of what they do, and so obvious when somebody speak about what's happening to them, and you look, oh my gosh, it's exactly what I don't know this person at all. I didn't even try to look for it. I didn't even know they were going to I didn't even know I know manipulation of the mind. I thought they were manipulating for sure. I didn't know they were systematically doing the pedophilia type of torture. Like literally, I heard somebody say they do start doing the pedophilia type of torture. And they're like, no, what we did to you is like make you think like when you're a kid. Huh? Yeah. That makes sense. We matched it. Remember what you did as a kid? I'm in my 30s. And when I was a child, I wasn't thinking like that. Oh, guess what? They can manipulate your memories. They have been now having the ability to implant memories and make you think that those are your memories. Oh, 100 testimonials. They go into your memories, implant personalities in your memories. I didn't write these things. Jesus, how much obviousness. It was just like too much. You see, I heard this woman, oh, they do this program perversion, and then they aim it toward children. Jesus, get stimulation like crazy. Even in this state of nonsensicalness, they do, it's just so beyond obvious. It's just so beyond obvious. And it's like, oh, but look at us, we're a bunch of women. Oh, a woman is literally saying, why is there so many females doing this? What kind of woman are... This is what I'm experiencing here. Another woman is like, oh, this group of organizations, that these people who present themselves as the organization of goodness, are doing these things, and since then they've been doing these weird simulations where they do these nasty arousals and aim it toward children. And even at night, they condition and program our brain in these ways. And they're doing the honking, they make me think of black little girls and try to make that's how you used to think. Oh. And I was like, of course, that doesn't make sense. Something is just doesn't, and guess what? Of course it doesn't make sense. I know me. Then you find out all these things when you do a little bit of research, that they do the exactly same things to you they've done to others. They do these things. Repetition. Oh, what? This is a tactic to disorient you. They're going to repeat things over and over. No, it's you. That's you. It's basic brainwashing repetition to try to make you accept. Somebody's like, oh no, this guy thought it was a 14-year-old kid next door doing this. Target individuals, they will orchestrate things just to try to break you down. And you're like, this is that what you've been organizing to make me think I'm doubtful about this? No way. And by the way, I'm trying to find out the answer of this thing that I know they know. Right? I know things are orchestrated. I know this. Listen, as a target individual, once you're a target individual, they're going to make you live a tough life, and everything is going to be orchestrated. I understand the reality. I know. And they're going to try to make me feel doubtful. Anything they can do to make me feel doubtful, they'll do it. They're going to try to make you think, how can we make him doubt himself about the obvious things that we do to him? And it's some illogical things. Because I'm being so validated. I'm so validated that today I can look at a video I made in 2020 and it literally exactly what I talked about. Before I even met these people, I was saying these things. Tag individual. Understand the reality you're in. When it comes to you being functional, you'll never be the same. They are frying your brain. You will never be the best, the you that the you who you were. You'll never. It's no way to function normally in this situation. You can do your best, but the reality is your brain is fried up, and you don't think logically anymore in a way that you can try and. But they are driving those thoughts too, and they have no problem stooping to a level of spectralism. And then you hear these people, they're going to knock you down. It's like, does it have to do anything? Does it mean I'm supposed to subscribe to this? Because I'm going to die in the street, now I should be accepted to these things? No, you try to disorient me. I know. You try to bring my mind away from what I'm saying because perspective or reality is not what you want me to be in. This loses. And they get humiliated, and I know the humiliation that they experience is going to be put on me. These people who are trying to make you accept this happen to have entities in charge of these things who are actually pedophiles, feel pedophiles in these agencies. Our problem, a big problem to see a pattern of pedophilia, and they're here to talk about, we match it to you when you're a kid. Oh my goodness. It adds even more. Like when you think it's just, no, don't. It's just like when you're like, no, really? And you're here, now we are at war. It's like, oh, Jesus. Target individual. I'm prepping myself, or I've accepted that suffering is something that I'm going to have to experience in a different level, but it comes at a price of dignity. I have gained dignity, and I will suffer. But I'll have dignity that these people can never, ever even get close to. They've been humiliated to the nth degree. I'm not trying to be spiritual, but it's true. You gotta see who's involved, even children. As soon as you see that, it's like, oh. Because these people want you to start thinking just, and you see them acting these ways and try to like, listen, I'm not a genius. I know I'm not perfect. I know who I am very well. And I know that it's gonna be hard for me to function. But I know that you're just trying to find ways to make me feel doubtful. There is no way that somebody under the circumstances that I'm working, what's happened to me, to be the best or to be able to function properly. In the real world, I would be excited to find a solution, work with coworkers and teammates and see this is what work is about. Try to get to an answer. But when you hear people try to really create some nonsensicalness, it's like all along this person knew and she was giving these weird responses. They will say like, okay, but why do you think that? And then they'll say like, oh, but you see the customer is like, what? How does that impact this then? I can go back to this person and say, hey, the customer. Like, so you gotta be strong. And I don't have a problem. Like I make sure that I express myself. Thankfully I have a surveillance camera. So when I talk, sometimes I'm like, am I being too harsh? Was I saying something? And I'm making more sense. It is no way you can tell me this is the reason why it's this, because how is that impacting this? Maybe let's find out something that makes more sense. Target individual. Stay strong and know that justice will be done. This bottom feels sold is soul, and they have to dumb themselves down now and use whatever they can to try to get you. They even orchestrate what they try to make you subscribe to. It's like, okay. It's like, oh, we got you. It's like, oh, okay. You just try to, okay, see, this is. It's like, no, you like girls. It's you. Jesus. Because they do the perfect type of torture, and the little girls is when they do the worst things. You like girls, it's you. And you hear who's talking, it's like, oh my gosh, really? You think I'm going to be like, you know what? You're right. You don't do the pedophilia type of torture. Now you guys. Just like this work thing, it's obvious that you guys do the pedophilia type of torture, but with me, you're just matching. She said it. I like girls. Trash us. And they try to come up with the stuff they manipulate to say in different ways. This bottom feeders. You know what? I remember earlier on they were saying something about like they would do extra nastiness toward little girls. And I was like, oh, if it's a little girl, it's a little boy, it's okay, it's not. But the little girls are the worst things. And I was like, oh, you like girls? And that's why you hear the sirens. They try to get you to subscribe to these things. Target individuals know how foul and retarded these people have to make themselves be. Death comes to all of us. I'm just glad I got a chance to see them for what they truly are.